1 year. One singular year I've been on YouTube, guys, and over that 1 year I've gained 50 subscribers. I don't know how this is possible. You guys are awesome. I hit 50 subs a while ago. Ever since then, I've been wanting to make a 50 subscriber special video, but I honestly haven't really had the time to do it. So this video is a little late, but here it is. So this video is on Mr. Gameshow. Now this is a little different from a typical Gemmy item, so not sure how interested some of you will be, but it's still pretty cool. If you're subscribed to me, then you've for sure seen my logo up in the corner. You can see it's just up there right now. That is Mr. Gameshow, which is this guy. This is the one that's in the picture. So, Mr. Gameshow basically was a popular 80s game by Glue. This $130 purchase could supposedly bring every last aspect of a game show into your own household. The people that bought it loved it for its family fun, and I love it for its animation and its advanced technology for its time. This particular game show I somehow recovered from a garage sale. Originally, it was $50, which you can see on the box. I'll probably just show a picture right there. It's a little close-up. It was for $50 at the garage sale, which is actually a lot for something like that at a garage sale. But something bad happened that ended up being something good. The bottom broke out of the box, and everything fell out, including Mr. Gameshow, whose arm broke off. After this, they settled for $10, and that's how much I paid for it. That was not its only fault. The boxes broke out several times since then, and nowadays I don't even keep it in the box because of how often it falls apart. Anyway, when I got it from the garage sale, it didn't move at all. At the time, I didn't know how to fix it, so I left it for a few years and then finally got into it. But by that time, both arms were snapped, as well as the tie around its neck, which you can't even see from here. The first time I opened it, when nothing worked, the mouth motor was locked up, which was an extremely easy fix. I just opened it up and spun the motor a little bit. And then for the body, there are two belts. Both belts had deteriorated. At the time, I did not have any replacements for those rubber belts, so I was not able to fix it. Then as I was putting it back together, I re-glued the arms and the tie. The second time I opened it, which was a few years later, I had replacements for the rubber belts, so I replaced them, and he worked fully. Then a few years later, the body stopped moving once again, and what actually happened was there is a little white piece that moves the head, which I'll show a picture of. That's the inside of Mr. Gameshow. That white piece had snapped, as well as the left arm here. And then a few years later, the bottom row of lights. There's this little board here. It's called the lighted letterboard, and all these little squares have lights in them, and they are meant to light up. And they did all light up when I first got it, but a few weeks ago, the entire bottom part of the lights just quit working. I'm pretty sure it's a component on the board because I don't think that all the lights could just burn out at the same time like that. That still doesn't work to this day. Sometimes when you're playing a game, it'll give you a letter to write down, but you don't know where to put the letter because the spaces do not light up. So that's the story. Now let's get to the actual item. As you can see in front of us, we have the Mr. Gameshow box, Mr. Gameshow himself, the board, and the little stand. Here are the instructions to Mr. Gameshow. Pretty thin, but it's got all the things in here to figure out how to work all the games and stuff. There was also a 90-day warranty that came with it here. And then if your warranty went past 90 days, you could also call in and have it repaired. Here are a few notes on Gus. You can see it's just a few preparations that you should take. And here is a guide to troubleshooting for the Trivia Tracks cassette game. Many times during the game, Mr. Gameshow will say, "Pick up your money." He comes with 3 piles of money of different values. Here are the $100 bills. As you can see, it says George Glitz. Up on the top, it says, "In Glue We Trust." And on the side, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's phony money. Here are the 500s. You can see there's Abe Glitz there. Same thing, in Glue We Trust, phony money. And finally, on the 1000, we have Gus Glitz himself. Same thing, in Glue We Trust. So there are 4 different games that you can play on Mr. Gameshow. Each one has a whole interactive program to it. It's actually really cool. There are also props to each one. The first one we have is Famous Phrases, which you can see is already up there on the letterboard. If you can see that, it says Famous Phrases up there. It comes with these little cards In the beginning of each round in famous phrases, Mr. Game Show will say, in this round we're looking for a, and then he'll either say place, book title, quote, thing, or person, and then whatever card he says you put up there. The second game that you can play is On the Button, which is just another piece that you can go up and put on the letterboard. It just kind of fits in there like that. And then there's also another for Watch the Word, which is another game that you can play. And then the final game, which you saw the troubleshooting guides to, is the Trivia Tracks cassette game. On the back of Mr. Game Show, there's a little jack, and you can plug an auxiliary cable from the back of him to a cassette player, which I have here, and play Trivia Tracks. Mr. Game Show came with his own cassette, 2 sides of questions and answers, and when you plug it into Mr. Game Show, he will read off the questions and basically be interactive with the cassette player. This game was also supposed to come with a washable marker. I did not get that with this, so I'm just using this. But it did come with something that it's not supposed to come with, which are these random Scrupples cards, probably pronouncing that wrong. They are from the same year. So when you turn Mr. Game Show on, he'll say, hi everybody, so what game should we play? And then he'll name off the games. A, famous phrases, B, on the button, C, watch the word, and D, a cassette game. And then you choose your answer on his letterboard. Now, I know how to play famous phrases in the cassette game, but that's about it. I have no idea how to play on the button or watch the words. We're probably not going to play much of those games. At least you'll see the animation, so I guess we'll turn it on. Mr. Game Show tilts his head side to side, his mouth moves, his eyes move. This hand moves like this, and the other hand moves up and down.
Hi, everybody. So, what game should we play? A, famous phrases. B, on the button. C, watch the word. D, a cassette game.
So we're just going to select famous phrases.
A, famous phrases, fantastico. Now pick a skill level. 1, 2, or 3.
We'll go 1.
1. How many players do we have?
1.
2. Tremendous. Player 1. Show me your initials. Or if you'd rather, press Mom or Dad. Hi, Mom. Player 2. Show me your initials. Hi, Dad. Let's get this show on the road. Famous phrases. In this round, we're looking for a quote. It's worth $1,000. First, let's mark the blanks. Player 1, spin the lights.
And so you'd hold the button.
Ouch! You lose a turn. Player 2, spin the lights. For $1,000, please pick a red letter.
Let's see. Let's try a C.
C, sorry. Yeah, no, C. L, write the letter in the blinking boxes. You win $1,200. Heck, I'd spend more than that on batteries. Take up your money. Ouch, you're busted. Better luck next time, Dad.
So yeah, he can add some pretty witty remarks in there. So as you can see, it's kind of difficult to play with the bottom lights not working, but now I guess we'll choose on the button.
B, on the button. Excellent. How many players do we have? Can you count that high? Player 2. Show me your initials. Careful, this is a family game. On the button. Remember, in this game, you're called by your color. Follow my words, but always read my lips.
Look how
Be
advanced
sure to
this
watch
is
the
for the
lights for the
80s.
dollar amount of this round. Okay, players 1 and 2. Ready? Go! Green! You blew it, Dad. Sorry, you're out of this round. Outstanding! You win $100. Mom, that's a lot of lettuce. Sorry, just kidding. Take up your money. Green. Red. No. Dig a hole and crawl in, Mom. I said, read my lips. Sorry, you're out of this round. can't spend more than that on tooth polish. Sorry. Just kidding. No. Don't quit the day job yet, Dad. I didn't move my mouth. Sorry. You're out of this round. Fantastico! You win $200. Mom, that's a lot of lettuce. Sorry. Just kidding. Go! Green! Green! Red! Green! Green! Red! Green! Terrific! You were really on the button, Mom. You win $700. Take up your money. Be sure to watch the lights. See? Watch the word. Beautiful. I just love when you push my button. Watch the word. First, let's mark the blanks. Write the letter in the blinking boxes. E as in excellent. For $3,500 plus the bonus, what's the word? Care to brush my teeth? Care to make a guess? No guess, no guts.
That's fast.
Write the letter in the blinking boxes. G as in gorgeous. A as in apple.
This is about the cheapest quality cassette player I have, but it's also the smallest one that doesn't have a volume surge when you press stop. The cassette game does not always work right because Mr. Game Show will tell you to start the tape now, but if you do not start the tape at that very second, he will begin to talk as the tape is talking. I'm going to try my best to make it work. I have not been able to figure out how to actually guess in this game. As of right now, it'll just be audio, but I guess we'll select the cassette game.
A cassette game. Give it your best shot. Start the tape now.
Hi, fiends, friends. So, you want to play a tape game, huh? Fantastico! We're gonna have some fun now. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The object of the game is to be the player to win the most money by correctly answering as many of the questions as possible. I'll ask you 10, count them, 10 questions per game. When you think you know the answer, press the button. No, not my belly button, silly. Your number button. If you're correctamundo, I'll pay you the big bucks. But be careful. If you're wrong, it'll cost you 500 big ones. First, I'll ask you the question, and then I'll tell you to stop the tape. I'll give you 5 seconds to answer, and then tell you to start the tape. I'll then tell you the correct answer and ask you another question. Confused? Me too. After 10 questions and answers, stop the tape and count up your money. The person with the most cash gets to buy me dinner. Wins the game. Simple, huh? Well then, we better get started. Question number 1. Let's start this off easy. For $2,000, what is the only state in the U.S. named after a president? Stop the tape now.
Terrific. Player 2, what's your answer?
Now, I'm not sure really how to do this, because
Go for it.
I don't know.
Start the tape now. Care to brush my teeth?
If you said
care to make a guess? No guess, no guts. Start the tape now.
Fillmore, you're way off. I cannot tell a lie. For $2,000, it was Washington. Hey, speaking of presidents, for $3,000, what children's construction set bears the name of our 16th president? Stop the tape now.
And I like to wait a little bit so that you can just start it back up once.
Care to brush me off? Care to make a guess? Okay, Mr. Cautious. Start the tape now. Care to brush my hair?
Smackers in the Lincoln law.
Care to make a
Let's
guess?
try what I'm an expert on. For $2,500, how many teeth should the average adult have? Stop the tape now.
Start the tape now. Stop the tape now.
For $2,500, there's 32 of those beauties in the average adult mouth. Not quite as beautiful as mine, I might add. Sorry. Let's see. For $3,500, who is the Muppet that just loves cookies? Stop the tape now.
Care to brush my hair? Care to make a
So that is Mr. Game Show for you. So there he is, my most prized possession, and thank you guys so much for subscribing and for all the support. Like I said, I've only been on here for 1 year and I already have 50 subscribers. And also, thank you guys so much for watching this video, especially if you watch this long. This is probably going to be a very long video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Please comment. Goodbye.